Okay, okay.
I like hearing that.
Definitely do.
I
That
like hearing
applause
that.
helps.
That's a good sound. Good
That
sound.
applause helps.
Good sound. Good sound. Come on in.
Come on in.
Warming up a little bit outside. Come on in.
Come on
Enjoy
in.
yourself.
Last day of January
Get strapped in for
25.
this next hour of content that we're going to put on you.
I'm gonna put it on
I'm going to
you.
put it on you.
I'm gonna put it on you, girl.
Man, I was looking at tickets. I was going to text you.
Got
Do
to
you want to go
do.
see Lil Wayne? Man,
And the Hot Boys.
floor seats $335 now. And then nosebleed
Damn.
$200.
Oh yeah, I'm cool.
I'm good.
Weezy F baby, and the F is for
F you.
forget that. I ain't going.
Coming to you live from the
Yeah.
Sit Your Ass Down studios. Welcome to the Meat and D
Pops and Son
podcast.
for that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass. No Diddy.
No Diddy.
Today is January 31st, 2025. We thank you all so much for being with us. Got a full slate. So we're going to keep it moving. Rest in peace to the 67 people who lost their lives in the helicopter / plane crash in D.C. on Wednesday night. Man, that was very sad. To Dick Button, Olympic great and voice of ice skating. He passed away today at the age of 95. Fred Newhouse, Olympian sprinter. He passed away earlier this week. Iris Cummings, she also was an Olympian and an aviation pioneer. And Calvin Jones, college and pro running back, passed away. And Ken Flores, stand-up comedian. Rest in peace to all those folks.
Rest in peace, man.
Birthdays on February 2nd. And the reason we do this, if you're new to the show, we always do events and birthdays on the day that we release the podcast, which is every Sunday. Some point on Sunday, it'll roll out to you. Unless something just
please catch it on Sunday.
Something crazy happens, but we release it, and then on Tuesdays it's YouTube Tuesday.
Better than Taco Tuesday.
Better than Taco Tuesday. Way better than Taco Tuesday. You can eat a taco while listening.
Eat a taco while watching the YouTube
and while watching and listening, you can eat a taco. And we also will be up on Facebook on the same day. But anyway, birthdays on February 2nd. Jason Capono, small forward, played for the Miami Heat, won the NBA three-point contest in 2007 and 8. He celebrates a birthday. Ken Dilgert, an NFL tight end for the Indianapolis Colts, celebrates a birthday. Sean Elliott played for the San Antonio Spurs. Won a couple of titles with Coach Pop. He celebrates a birthday. He was a linebacker. Dexter Manley. I was trying to see if they put in here what position he played. I know he was a hell of an edge rusher.
Right.
Dexter Manley played for the Washington Redskins at the time. He celebrates a birthday. Barry Sanders' favorite coach, Wayne Fontes, for the Detroit Lions, celebrates a birthday as well. And this man has passed away since left us. Red Shandings, Hall of Fame second baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals, also manager for the Cardinals, would have celebrated a birthday. Red passed away in 2018. So
damn.
Happy birthday to those folks. Little history. This one kind of pains me. In 2020, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers 31-20. The MVP of that Super Bowl was Patrick Mahomes.
Patty Mahomes.
It was the Chiefs' first Super Bowl victory in 50 years. So that was a little disheartening, but
very disheartening.
Nonetheless, I'll congratulate them. In 2014 at MetLife Stadium, the Seattle Seahawks beat the Denver Broncos. Man, beat the brakes off them 42-8. Malcolm Smith was the MVP that year. In 1975, U.S. female figure skating champion Dorothy Hamill won. She was 18 at the time. In 1970, Louisiana State's Pete Maravich becomes the first to score 3,000 college basketball points. And then in 1959, Vince Lombardi, the famous Vince Lombardi, signs a 5-year contract to coach the NFL Green Bay Packers. That is Lombardi a little bit of rest in peace birthdays,
birthdays,
and
and
history.
history.
Yes, sir.
Let's
First
get it.
topic of the night, a little bit
Let's
off the
get it.
grid. Want to do something a little different because everybody's talking Super Bowl and all that good stuff, and I understand why. But question for you, D: who would you pay to see play if money was no object? You could have seats at the on the 50-yard line. If it's
Ooh,
football, you
center
got floor
field.
seats. If you're watching the NBA or college, or field box behind the dugout if it's baseball. What one athlete would you pay? Wouldn't give a damn how much it costs. If you had that opportunity to see that person, who would you try to check out in person?
Currently?
Yes, sir. Current athlete.
It would be hard not to say LeBron James. Because I mean, shoot, that'd be, you see LeBron James courtside. But also that'll probably be for basketball. NFL, yeah, I'll either have to see that boy Lamar or Patty.
I figured you would say, yeah.
Lamar Jackson. Probably Lamar Jackson first because I'm more of a Lamar Jackson fan. But seeing the legend of Patty Mahomes, Patty. Yeah. If money was no option, yeah, probably LeBron. See him courtside, especially he's still doing his thing. But some younger blood, I'll probably either see Lamar Jackson or Patty Mahomes, especially because the history that Patrick Mahomes has been making, and then a revolutionary runner, passer, quarterback, dynamic quarterback in Lamar Jackson. That's something that doesn't come by. I never got to see Michael Vick, so seeing Lamar would probably be the closest thing to it.
Damn, you were young when he was playing, yeah. I'm trying to think. When did Mike leave the league? Because I actually got to see him. I saw Mike Vick against the Giants. I'm trying to think. I could have swore
Maybe I did.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you did.
Maybe I just don't remember.
You just don't remember.
We went to a Falcons game when I was little.
We went to a couple of them, but I know. Matter of fact, yeah, I think that was one of the games we went to.
I think it was
the Giants played. It was a very low scoring game. It was a very kind of an ugly game. Yeah, you saw Mike Vick.
But yeah, I guess I just don't remember.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I get it. It wasn't much of a game to remember.
Right.
Memory serves correctly. I think
I do remember
the Giants squeaked that game out. But for me, I'm going to see Steph. And Stephen Curry, and I'm getting there early. I want to see that whole workout when he does his pregame shoot around routine, and I'm getting the seats next to their bench. I want to hear all the talk. I want to hear Steve Kerr. I want to hear when they TV timeouts. I want to hear what they're talking about. I'm serious. I would be so transfixed. I probably would just every move he made.
Right.
I'm watching it.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good
one. Money's no object.
I got everything I need.
I don't even have to leave the seat. Hey, put me a porta potty up.
That's what I'm saying. Bring the bathroom to me. I definitely ain't got to leave. Damn, what?
Hey, make my seat
wait on the court.
Drop down. Right. Make my seat can just drop down under the court for a minute and then come rise back up. Like he just left. He's back.
Rise like the Undertaker. No, yeah, that's a real good. Honestly, I would put Steph on my list too, because the legend of Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. To see his
I've seen him, but I wasn't courtside.
Right.
And that's a totally different thing. You're right there on the floor in the action. You can hear everything. You can hear his sneakers squeaking. You can hear him cursing. You can hear the fouls. Yeah, I'd love to be able to just hear all of that, see all of that. So anyway, that's my first question of the night.
Okay.
Next question, it takes a somber tone. This is the 5th year anniversary of the death of Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant. Rest in peace to the Bean and him and Gigi. The helicopter crash happened on the 26th of January, which was this past Sunday. Want to know, where were you, D? What do you remember about that day?
Shoot, I was still in Cape.
The Cape.
And then I remember it was I think it was an off day. I think back then, it was a Sunday.
It was a Sunday. It was a Sunday for sure.
If I remember, if it was a Sunday, because I was off that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just woke up, was just chilling. And then I remember Cam. Cam called me. and he said Kobe Bryant died. I said, bro, quit playing. Stop playing. I said, let me call you back. Check Twitter, and then it was all over tweets saying, rest in peace, Kobe, rest in peace, Kobe. Went on Google, and I couldn't find nothing, and a couple minutes later, saw that it was a helicopter crash, and yeah, that was a rough day. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you ask Ash, that's the first time she seen me cry, and she's
For real?
That's the first time she seen me cry, and she's like, "What you crying for?" I said, "Kobe Bryant died."
It's not funny, but I know what you mean.
But I was in there, man. I was thinking about that all day. That was still to this day, I still remember that. And then yeah, that was a rough one. That was just like that's pretty much Superman died. You know, one of
Right.
your heroes. I still couldn't believe it. Was still in shock. And then
I'm
found
still
out
in shock to this day. He's been gone. Obviously, we've seen and haven't seen him, so you know he'd
that it is
had a
real.
presence. But no, that's funny you say that because I remember vividly. I had taken your grandmother to breakfast that day, and we were over in St. Charles, and I had the radio on, and they were talking about there's a helicopter crash in L.A. and outside of L.A. and you could just tell because at the time they didn't say who it was, but you could tell it was someone important. And
Right.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, is it Magic? Is it an actor? Is it an actress? They weren't giving us many details. And then by the time I got back to her house, we got the TV on because I'm like, man, I got to see who this is. And about that time is when they said it was Kobe. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And with the TV service that we had, I was tuned into LA stations all that day. And that's top to bottom. That's all they were focused on. And I was just flicking between CBS, NBC. And I think I had a split screen. I had CNN on too. And man, I was just in shock. And I didn't shed a tear. I was close because it really hit me. But I just remember being in a daze for all that day. And then a couple of days later, when I thought about it, I think when they were doing the tributes, that's when I shed a tear because I'm like, man, the Bean is gone.
Bean is gone.
And he had just recently left the game, retired. He had won an Oscar. So he had transitioned away from the court, was doing things,
big thing,
setting himself up for his second chapter in life.
Right,
and it was just so sad to see that all that was snuffed out. And then his little mini me, Gigi.
Right. I think that's what
Gian,
really.
Yeah.
I think that's what really took it over for me once I found out his daughter and
Right.
the rest of the little girls, passengers on his team. I'm like, man, and parents. There's a few parents on there too, but yeah, that was just like that story just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I was just like, man, it still took me a minute to actually come to terms. I'm like, dang, like for real? That just shows you how life is very humbling. And it's not. You think Kobe Bryant? You seen Kobe score 81, all the championships. This dude is undefeatable. You would never ever think something would happen to him, but then it just goes to show, man, anybody can
in an instant.
In an instant, without even no heads up, no nothing.
Yeah,
so
no
yeah,
forewarning.
Yeah, that was a tough one because that was just one of my heroes as far as the impact that he made. You never really know what impact a person has on your life,
right,
until they're gone. And then didn't even really know that was gonna hit me like that, but I was just like, dang, Kobe Bryant died? That's Kobe Bryant.
The Bean.
The Beans. Yeah, that was, I remember that day like it was yesterday. Yeah, I was
5 years has come pretty quickly too.
Very quick.
The documentary is a 3-parter. Have you seen any of it?
Oh no, they got a documentary about it?
Yeah, it's a 3-part documentary on CNN. It started on the 24th. Yeah, like the day before. And then the next one would be this Sunday. I think it comes on Saturday. I take that back.
Okay.
It was on a Saturday. But yeah, next episode will be on the 1st, and then they'll wrap it up the day before the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's pretty in depth. It went all the way back to his childhood, real in depth in terms of him playing over in Italy. He said when he was playing 8, 9 years old in the Little League team, he was far more advanced than anybody.
Right,
He's dribbling all the way up the court, didn't pass. Little kids were crying because he wouldn't pass. He'd get the rebound.
Take it all the way.
Take it to the hole.
Not even
he was stealing from them, steal their ball, take it all the way to the hole. But as he progressed and got older, and you saw him at Lower Merion, his passing game evolved, and it's like, man, this dude's got some of the moves that he was making. Yeah, he can
It's
really
real
play
skills.
ball. Yeah, and yeah, rest in peace, Kobe Bean. I just wanted to reflect on that. Like I said, we just hit the 5th-year anniversary
It's
this
crazy.
past
5 years is
Sunday.
crazy.
Crazy. Seemed like it was just a year or so ago, almost
But
like yesterday,
do they
truthfully. But
do they go in depth on what happened?
so where we left off, or where it stopped in the first episode, is really soon after he announced that he was going to the NBA. So they start from, like I said, follow his dad's career
Oh,
and their time over in Italy, and how that was such a tough move for them to have to make, because basically Joe Jellybean Bryant had been blackballed from the NBA,
mm-hmm.
and so he had to take his talents overseas, and he played for several different European teams.
Did they go in depth on what happened to the helicopter? Like what?
We haven't gotten that far. That's what I'm
Okay, you
saying.
haven't got
This is
that
just
far.
the
Okay,
childhood, and then it gets
I hope they
to,
go in depth
yeah.
on that. Cause come on now, I don't know about that.
But they said the pilot was flying in the fog. He couldn't see. He got turned around and thought he was. I do remember hearing that he flew right into the mountain because he was trying to get up above it and end up flying because he couldn't really see. He flew right into it. Yeah, he should have been trying to do it. They could have waited.
Could have waited.
I
Shoot,
think they advised that pilot not to do it though. You're going against what you should be and what your training
I'm
has
about to
taught you.
say you couldn't turn back around. You couldn't. You
Maybe they'll
see
get
it's
more in
heavy
depth into
fog.
that. Yeah, next week. Like I said, the second episode
Crazy.
is this week, and then next week they'll finish it up. Hopefully, they do get into a little bit of that because it's pretty thorough in terms of him growing up, when they won the championship for Lower
Mm-hmm.
Merion, and then when he announced that he was going to the NBA. That's kind of where they stopped.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, if you can catch it, it's on CNN. Moving on to Super Bowl 59.
Super Bowl 59.
Little more than a week away. What are your thoughts, D? We'll do our picks on the next week's
show.
Yeah, on the wrap-up show, and then next, because we'll come out next
we'll
Sunday.
We'll
have another episode of me and you, so we'll do our picks in. But do you enjoy the week off, or do you need the build-up? What are your thoughts?
No, I think it's good. I think they're good to give them a good recap, give them a little rest, give them some time to build up. I know they got the Pro Bowl games going on, so I've been watching a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, leading up to, I think it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good matchup.
So 1.5 point spread favoring the Chiefs. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. So that's about right.
That means you're about even.
You pretty much about even. That's a turnover or two away from either you got history made or you got vengeance. You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
That's my whole little thing. Is history gonna be made or is vengeance gonna be set? So, I'm hoping to see a good matchup. I think it is gonna be a good matchup.
Could you imagine though if the Eagles do lose again, how crushing that would be? The 2 times you get there, and then you being Nick Sirianni as the coach,
right?
Jalen Hurts as you get right back there. You can get back to that pinnacle again, and then you got to go against the same team. If they knock you off again, that might crush you for.
That's something you really can't get
seriously,
over.
That might crush you for the rest of your career.
No, for real. As a competitor, as an athlete, those are the type of games that haunt you. Like for real. Even there's some games when I played, and I remember some games that we lost, and it's just like, what could I have done? So at the highest level, at the highest magnitude, especially at that,
or the top of your sport,
top of your sport, literally all eyes are on you, and you were the better team previously when you guys matched up, but just mistakes happen. That fumble, that picks, that scoop and score, that's what really took it out. When Jalen Hurts fumbled and they scooped and scored it, that changed the whole momentum.
It sure did, because Philadelphia was dominating early.
They were rolling. But
that's always been Kansas City, opportunistic. And then they typically give you the ball back with little or no time left for you to do anything. And then you're scrambling, panicking, and they just ran out of time. They ran out of time, literally. It's going to be a good one.
I think it's going to be
like
another
I said,
instant
we'll talk more about it on the Monday night wrap-up show, and then as well as we'll have some time set aside next week to give some more thought to it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like having the week off just to reflect on the season. like you said, let them get healthy so that we can see the best
We can see
version
the best version.
of those two teams that we can see. But yeah, it'd be interesting. All right, son, we'll move on to a little college basketball.
Okay,
Coach
let's
John
go.
Calipari comes back home to Kentucky tomorrow, which is Saturday. It'll be past tense, but my thing is, do you expect him to get cheered, booed? I think he deserves a standing ovation. The man brought a championship to
He did.
Kentucky,
He
and
did.
he had some good teams, and he put a lot of players into the NBA. So I think he needs to be applauded. What are your thoughts?
I think the same thing. He probably gonna get a little mix of both. There's probably gonna be some boos. There's probably gonna be some haters. Hater in the house.
Hater in the house.
I mean, for what he's done with that program, all the talent that came through Kentucky while he was there,
people he was able to recruit.
I mean, it was just ridiculous. But I think that's also the fact is like, dang, couldn't get that title. You couldn't get one more title with all that talent that you had. But as you can see, it takes a lot more than just talent to win a championship. It takes camaraderie, chemistry. A lot of his players were just one and done. They'll be there. That was almost just the pre-jump to the
It
NBA.
was.
Let me go to the Kentucky, get some exposure. All right, boom. I went to Kentucky.
Coach Cal can help me get into
Coach
the
Cal
league.
got
He's
some
got the connections.
I'm gonna go to the league.
Mm-hmm.
Not entirely all his fault as far as getting another championship. Now, if he didn't get one at all, then it'd be a little different. But I think they should give the man his props, give the man his flowers. The fact that he was able to stick it out. Kentucky basketball, that's a blue blood school. That's a school that goes way back as far as its traditions in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he should be applauded. But
I
definitely can see some haters out there that might. But I don't think he should.
It'll be a few boo birds in the audience.
But I think that the consistency needs to be a standing ovation for him because he did a lot for that program. And what people really don't realize which means a lot more is what he's done for those players. The mentor, the coaching, the things we really don't see as far as being there as a father figure.
The time that you spend with the young men.
It's a lot, and it's a lot that goes into that they don't see. They're just looking at what they see on the court, but all the time he spent off the court helping players, you never know, giving back to the community. So I think he definitely should get a standing ovation. You know what I'm saying? Because
totally agree. I haven't seen much of what he's done with Arkansas since he's been there. I know they played Michigan early, and that was the one game here. And I want to look it up real quick, see what Arkansas basketball is doing. Is he turning them around? Is he
right? It's about the same.
Oh, standings. There we go. Damn. They were 12-8 overall, 1-6 in the Southeast Conference. So they got a little ways to go.
He probably got to get his feet set. Got to get some recruiting.
Got to get some recruiting.
Got to get some people that's gonna want to go to Arkansas and play. So yeah, he just got to get that.
It takes time to build a program, especially when you're coming from nothing. Come from something to nothing.
I'm coming to something to nothing.
But I look forward to seeing what Coach Cal does with Arkansas. I look forward to seeing how the homecoming turns out. What's the reception like? Moving on to the men's top 10 from the AP this week.
10.
Auburn, the first 5 slots stay the same. Auburn is still number 1. Duke's number 2. Iowa State's 3. Alabama's 4. And Florida's 5th. Houston moved up 1 spot to the 6th place. Michigan State still moving up. They moved up a spot. Tennessee dropped down 2 spots. They're at number 8. Marquette, 17-3, moved up a spot. And Purdue jumped into the top 10. They moved up 1 slot. So I did watch Duke again, Cooper Flagg, this past Monday night. Man, the dude he's a dominant ball player.
Oh, man.
He can do everything.
He can play some basketball. Like,
I wanted to ask you, one of his teammates, it was a play. It was weird because they made it seem like he got hit, but just all of a sudden, one of the players just hurled all over the court.
Ooh.
Have you ever played with somebody like in the middle of a game? Now, I know during practice, they used to run us.
Right.
And you'd be like, damn, somebody might hurl in, but I never seen anyone hurl in the middle of a game.
I can't even know if it was middle
That
of the game.
smell. I can almost smell it through the TV. Yeah,
Yeah. But I know
it was all over his legs, and it was nasty.
I don't put him on blast, but Zach Bond, he was the center for Orchard Farm when we played, and he was notorious of puking before the game.
Was it like nerves? Nerves would get him.
Just ready to go. Just nerves, ready to go. The anxiousness. I can't remember if he actually did it on the field. He might have done it one time on the field, but I know before the game he was hitting that bathroom.
Yeah, and I've known football players to talk about doing it. Nerves. I never seen anybody. I don't know if the dude was sick or what. At first, they made it seem like somebody like punched him, but they went back to the replay, and I don't know. I think he just. I think he might not have been feeling good, and yeah, he just.
You eat a tuna sandwich before the game, and don't let it sit. You got 30 minutes.
He had a whole lot of liquid. It was liquidy, so you could tell he had hydrated. Yeah, it was a lot of water.
Maybe it's too much water, and it ain't sit well, especially if you're just running up and down. Well, you're drinking all that water. You need to sit down somewhere.
But I made a note of that. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that before. They're on the court. He's right up underneath the goal too.
It's different, like when it's on grass.
Right.
It kind of can seep into the field, but you on the court.
On the court, now who had to clean that up?
And you know how the water just be splashing everywhere. So it probably bounced up, hit somebody in the eye.
If I was one of the ball boys, I think I'd have quit that night.
Nah,
I'm not getting that.
You got to put that little powder they used to put in elementary school.
Like
that
they used to do if somebody threw up in the hallway.
Yeah, you got to put that little cat litter.
Yeah. And still let it soak up. But yeah.
It just stink.
Moving on to the women's top 10.
Damn.
The first 4 places stayed the same. UCLA is 1, South Carolina 2, Notre Dame is 3, USC is 4. Texas moved up 2 spots. They're in the 5th place. UConn is 6th. LSU dropped 2 spots with their loss to South Carolina last week. They dropped down to 7th.
Watch that game.
Ohio State is up 4 places. They're 19-1 there. Then the 8th place, TCU stayed there, number 9. And then the Duke women moved up 4 spots, and they're now in the top 10. So those are your top 10 men's and women's college basketball. We'll start focusing more on some of the top players as we continue to move along into this season and get closer and closer to March. It gets mad.
Get closer.
NBA. The NBA trade deadline is February 6th. Ironically, that's your Aunt Lori's birthday. Hey, rest in peace, Aunt Lori. Sis. The main player expected to be traded is De'Aaron Fox from Sacramento, from the Sacramento Kings. He's got 1 year left on his contract. I know he's unhappy there. And his destination of choice, is San Antonio.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
No, it's San Antonio.
San Antonio and him and Wemby?
Putting him with Wemby and some of the other young pieces that they have. That ought to be pretty damn good.
I think that'd be a nice little fit because De'Aaron Fox is that fast, quick,
they say there's probably nobody faster in the league than him.
I don't think so.
From line to line.
Especially dribbling the basketball. Yeah, on a breakaway. So him and Wemby, that'd be a nice little combo, little 1-2.
Inside out game on a fast break.
And you got another scorer, another person who can he can take over a game. You know what I'm saying? He can easily get you 30, maybe get you 40 if on a given night. Like he can go off. So I don't think that's a bad pick at all.
No, I think that'd be a nice move for him.
Young, fresh, talent, somewhere you can grow in an organization that specializes in playing basketball. They play good fundamental basketball, sound basketball, and for the Spurs, that would be a nice little pick. I know
good landing spot.
Probably unhappy being a Kings. They let Mike Brown go, and they coming off that hot year they had when they were combating with the Warriors.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, they were coming off a real hot year. Seeing with Sabonis and Malik Monk, some of that talent that they had, they were playing real good basketball. But you see how things change in an instant. It comes to a time where a player's okay, and he's been in the league for a minute, even though he's still young.
Right,
he's been in the league for a minute, and to only get that playoff berth. I think once. I think that was their only playoff. That was
the only one, yeah.
And then they really didn't go that deep into the playoffs. So yeah, he's trying to make a run somewhere, and he's trying to compete, man. He's a competitor. what are we doing this for? I'm not here just for stats and being an all-star. Like, I want to play those extra games in playoff time. So
With
I
you
don't blame
having
him.
said that, let me see where San Antonio. I keep hitting my mic. I apologize. See where San Antonio is in the West. Are they even in the playoff consideration? Because
right,
man, why would
the
you want to
West is
go
tough.
to? I understand that you want to go to a better situation, but if you're gonna get bounced out of or don't even make it to the playoffs,
You might as well
stay
sit
where
your
you
ass
are.
down,
Sit
right?
your
You
ass
might as well
down and try to
might be
make
less
that
of a
team
hassle,
better.
right? Maybe
Let's see.
somebody might come along there somewhere, get some draft
Exactly.
picks, but I don't see too many people wanting to come play for Sacramento, unfortunately.
Spurs are on the outside looking in. They're in the 12th spot.
Yeah, I figured they were
behind Golden State, because you can still be in the top 10 and make it to that little play-in series, but they're right at the cutoff line. I don't know. And then his Kings are there. The Kings are in 10th spot. They're
in there. So
they're in there right
like,
now. So I think I'd probably try to stick it out and maybe see what they could do in the off season.
Sabonis is balling still. Sabonis is
if I'm not mistaken, he didn't make it to the reserves. He got snubbed, and I meant to put that down. We'll be sure to go. You got that?
Well, no, later on in the show, I was going to talk about the snubs,
and we'll go through it next week because we'll still have some time leading into the All-Star game.
But
I think that's the 16th.
I was looking at his numbers; they're pretty.
He averages a double-double every night, doesn't he?
I got him up right here.
I think he averages a double-double.
20.9, 14 rebounds.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Double-double.
It's consistent, too.
He's had, out of 42 out of 44 games, he's averaged a double-double.
Pretty consistent.
Come on now. That's consistency to a T.
To a T.
To a T, but yeah.
Jimmy Butler, as we've talked about for the last few weeks, he now has been suspended indefinitely by Miami Heat.
Jimmy.
He can't find a suitor. The only team that he wants to go to is Phoenix. Bradley Beal, again, has a no trade clause, and no other team wants. Let me back up. Miami does not want Bradley Beal. So they've been trying to get some other teams in the mix to make the trade. Nobody wants him, and nobody else wants Jimmy Butler. So it's either Phoenix or bust. And I'm thinking what's going to happen, D, he's not going to get traded at the deadline, and they're just going to outright release him.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to look like.
Or suspend, or what I would do is suspend him with no pay, where he can't go anywhere. So I'm not going to release him. I'm not going to waive him. I'm going to punish him. You're just not going to pay. You're just not going to play the rest of the year.
You're not going to play, and you're not going to get paid. Which is
why are you taking money out of your pocket?
And we still need to know what's going on here. Like, what was the conversation that's leading to this? Because we're going off of just. Well, we're just speculating. We're just going off, what we think. But
this is about a month now. We've been talking about this.
What is really going on? Like, like he said, it's not the players. He loves playing with the players.
It's not the city.
It's not the city. Of course, it's not the city.
Of course, it's not the city.
So it has to be Pat Riley. But it's just, did he really offend you that bad to where you just don't want to play?
You're going up against the Godfather.
who got all the pull?
All the pull.
When the fact that you said that he has a patent on the 3P.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you saying that, he getting paid.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you use it, you got to go through him.
Use it.
Yeah, he's getting paid for that,
brother.
You got to pay him.
I don't think that's a guy that you really want to combat and go ahead, you know? So, like, I don't know. It's a battle that you're not really going to win. And it's almost adding turmoil to your name. Because this is not the only time where you forced your way out of a situation by crossing your arms and pouting with a frown on your face, talking about, oh, I don't want to play here. Don't get me wrong. Great player.
And you know how when you're younger, teams are more willing to put up with the BS. But the older you get, we don't have to put up with the headache anymore.
He's been in the league for a minute. He's a veteran.
Yeah, he's a veteran now. He's not a young whippersnapper.
He's
not that player to me anymore that can single-handedly will you to a championship round like he did a few years back. He's not that player. He's not that caliber. And so the headache is not worth taking him on. It's just, okay, what's going to happen in practice or in a game that, us as a new team, we're going to do, and then he's going to want to leave us. And then we're going to be in the same situation.
Oh, what can't I say to this dude? Because it's gonna
it's
he's
gonna
gonna get
upset him
mad.
so
Yeah, it's
much.
gonna get
Yeah,
mad because of whatever Pat Riley said or something going on. It
man,
upset him
he
so,
hurt
but
his feelings to the core, didn't
to
he?
the core, to the core.
Grow up, bro, because you're about to lose a whole lot of money on a $49 million contract that you signed or that you're getting paid this year. I wouldn't want to give any of that money away. So anyway, that's just me. We'll see how it all pans out. I say D, they won't trade him, and they're gonna suspend him
Yeah, they're
indefinitely
gonna be
for the
like,
year,
man, good luck. They're gonna be like, good luck, man. You ain't gotta play, and
and we
we
don't
also
have to
ain't gotta
pay
pay
you.
you, and we ain't
Yeah,
gotta pay you.
we're
You stuck,
saving
stuck.
money.
You
You're
stuck, bruh.
you're helping us out. Stuck like Chuck.
And especially him not playing, I don't really think they're gonna make a playoff push like that.
Let me see where they are in the standings.
They don't. I don't. As far as that goes,
I think they're probably in the top 10, though, D. If I
they
had to
probably are.
guess,
Probably like 9.
they're 7th. So
Wow.
they're in that playoff mix where they'd have to
Play-in tourney.
the play-in tournament, but they'd be hosting the team right now, and this is without him playing. So
imagine if he was.
yeah, just imagine you might be a little bit better.
Right, 6, 7.
Yeah, I
5,
think
6,
when this
5.
originally started, they were, I want to say, in the top 5, 4 or 5. And now that, again, they've dropped because your star player is not on the court. Goes back to what Pat Riley said. If you're not on the court, shut the F up.
Shut up.
Earlier this week, Commissioner Adam Silver was on the Dan Patrick show, and he floated a couple things out there that he would like to possibly implement. And the first one was to just go ahead and align the NBA with international rules. So one thing that they would do is implement a 40-minute game, 4 quarters, 10 minutes.
Oh, look, reducing it a little bit.
Reduce it by 8 minutes, and then I did the math on it. So on an 82-game season, that would roughly shave 15 games off a player's season.
Yeah,
because you wouldn't have to load manage so much.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it'd be a great idea.
I think that's a good idea too.
Plus, he was saying from a time factor, you're only talking about for a fan about 2 hours. So that would speed up how much time versus watching it on TV,
right?
Or the experience at the actual game. Hey, we can get there, watch the game. Game's over. Like baseball now that they've implemented the clock,
a little bit faster pace. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, a lot of games now average about 2 hours and some change,
which is not bad. It takes
not bad.
All that downtime away.
Right. So I think that'd be a great idea, and you might as well align it with the international game because it's a global game.
Yeah,
7 of your top 10 players aren't from overseas. They're from overseas.
They're from overseas.
This game does not belong, or sport does not belong to the United States anymore. I'm looking at our top 5. 1, 2, your top 3 international. And then you got Karl Anthony Towns and Jason Tatum from the United States. You just look at it, it's a global game.
Yep.
So that's just crazy how the whole sport, the game has evolved. And they credit the Dream Team back in 1992 at the Olympics for really spreading, I guess, the appeal. That's where the appeal came from. And people wanted to be like the players. And then they start fashioning their games after the Jordans and the Charles Barkleys of the world, David Robinson, all the people that were on that team, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. They wanted to be like them. They developed their games like them or patterned their games after them. So, yeah, be interesting. And then one last bullet point, D, I heard this the other day. Joel Embiid has played about 460 games in his career. He's missed more than 400.
Damn.
Where can you show up 50% of the time to work and get paid that kind of money and still keep your job? Because we've been talking about, is he ever going to be the player that we thought he was going to be? Or is he going to be just constantly plagued by injuries? 50%, D, he's missed almost 50% of his career. He's been on the bench and made all that money.
Hey, living good.
That's crazy. Must be nice.
Man.
We'll go through the NBA rankings real quick. OKC still holds on to the top spot.
Okay.
Houston has vaulted into the number 2 spot.
Houston's not bad.
Houston's not bad. Cleveland has slipped to 3rd. Boston is back in the mix at number 4, and the Grizzlies are hanging on to that 5th spot. And then in the Kia MVP award race, you still got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's coming off a 52-point game in a loss to the Warriors on Wednesday night. He had 54 last week against the team. He's hanging on, D.
He's hooping.
Nikola Jokic still averaging a triple-double. His average point total has dipped a little bit under 30. He's right at 29.7. Giannis is holding on to that 3rd spot, but it looks like really the race is going to come down between Shai Gilgeous and Nikola Jokic, barring any injuries to either one of them. Knock on wood, hopefully nothing happens to him.
Right.
Karl Anthony Towns still hanging in there in that 4th spot. And then Jason Tatum's coming off a couple of good games. He's in the 5th spot. Then you got your next 5. KD, Kevin Durant, has moved up. He's in the 6th spot. Donovan Mitchell for the Cavaliers is 7th. Jalen Brunson is 8th. Anthony Davis 9th. And Alperen Sengun from the Rockets is number 10. Alperen.
But no, that's
Alperen.
Yeah, that's Shai Gilgeous, man. He's been balling.
He's been balling every week. It's just like a 50 burger on somebody. He did it against my Warriors, but they lost, and they being OKC. You got some juicy news for us, son?
Little juicy news.
Let me get some excess out. We are powered by excess. Hit my sonny boy up and get that.
Please do.
Get some in your life.
Get a little something in your life.
Put some excess in your life.
A little excess in your life, man.
Time for that juicy news, because if you don't know, now you know. Young brother, young sister, young player, Dwight Howard, P. Diddy, Porter family, Cheetah.
Man, for that juicy news, because if you don't know, now you know, man. Just saw this right here. The Ravens, Justin Tucker, accused of inappropriate sexual behavior by 6 massage therapists.
Yeah.
He must have hit up Deshaun Watson.
He got some numbers from Deshaun.
He got some numbers. There's 2 spas say they banned Tucker. He denies the bans and the behavior that women say he left them emotionally scarred. No wonder he was off. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, he was missing those kicks this year.
He was missing those kicks this year. So Ravens kicker Justin Tucker engaged in inappropriate behavior at 4 high-end spas and wellness centers in Baltimore region, according to 6 massage therapists, including exposing his genitals.
Not his foot.
Not his foot. Okay, this is a little vulgar for our little listeners. Brushing 2 of them with his exposed penis. Leaving them to believe that. Leaving what they believe to be ejaculate on the massage table after 3 of his treatments.
Okay.
All right, then. Viewer discretion.
Right. Not safe for work.
Several therapists say Tucker's behavior was so egregious that they had to end his session early and refused to work on him again. And at Tudor Spas management, they said they banned him from returning.
So what? I get no happy ending?
I thought. Come back. Wait, what's wrong? No, I was recommended here. You know Deshaun, right?
He said I was good. He said I'm gonna get the happy ending.
I say Deshaun Watson, I get a happy ending. I don't know
what happened. Why you leaving?
Whoa! Come on now, like this. Come on now, like I thought this was it. This was
we hit it off.
Right. It's fine. It's a little massage.
Man, that's all bad.
Yeah,
now I want to see though how the league acts and reacts to this. You better suspend him like you suspended
Deshaun Watson. They were blackballing Deshaun. Man, but rightfully so. But
yeah, what he did was way out of line. This sounds even worse.
Sounds even more nasty.
I never heard any graphic details like this where he's actually just rubbing his privates up against someone. That's way out of bounds.
They're calling him Justin Tugger. So that's his new nickname. So there was a reason why he was not performing
Wide
on the
right.
field. Right. Wide right. He yeah. Aren't you here for the hot?
That's bad.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
here
all
for the
bad.
Watson special.
Man. But yeah, that's some allegations against the kicker, the Baltimore kicker.
We got to watch this one. This
We
is
gotta
one to
watch
keep
that one,
our
see
eyes
how
on.
that pans out.
But
So
the ramifications from the league, man, it better be harsh and it better be swift. Because the
man,
way they acting on, like you said, Deshaun, I better see the same treatment. That's all I'm gonna
same
say. We'll
treatment.
leave it at that. I got a couple of little things for a little something on the side.
Listen on the side.
Something to compliment our podcast meal. I don't know if you saw this, but one of our favorite WNBA players, Miss Kelsey Plum, she'll be leaving the Aces. She was traded to the Sparks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was traded to the LA Sparks earlier in the year. And then another little tidbit, Colorado's GPA for the football team was released the other day. They were at a 3.011, which means Deion is not playing about his players getting their degrees.
Yep.
And it's the highest grade point average in the school's history.
Now, that's what I'm talking about.
So he's making sure they do it the right way on and off the field.
Mm-hmm.
The overall student athlete GPA was 3.2, so they weren't far off of that. So congratulations to Deion and company for doing the right things on and off the field. So that's the thing. You go to school to get that education.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to help you make some NIL money and get you some endorsement deals. But you're going to need to be smart and get that degree. And so I applaud them for that. All right, son, time for our pops, flops, and props.
Pops, flops, and props.
Oh, those pops, flops, and props. Who you propping tonight?
Big pops. The NBA All-Star game, I think they're putting a little new twist on it. They said they're going to have a little mini tournament.
Yep.
So it's going to be like 4 teams, 3 games apiece. So I think they're trying to add some more exposure because, the ratings this year.
To it.
Yeah, the ratings this year the numbers been down. I'm excited to see what that's all about. Kind of add some excitement to the NBA All-Star game.
I think they can, and we talked about this a little bit last year about this time. They can do away with this one. They can do away with the Pro Bowl. Just name the players, have the skills competition, but we don't need a game anymore. We'll see how this tournament turns out.
Right.
But for me, I don't need a game. My pop is going to my 49ers for getting Robert Saleh back in the building. Yep. He's going to run the defense. He'll be the defensive coordinator. And they were at their best when that man was on the sidelines. So
he was.
Those last few years. So good to see him back in the building. Who you flopping, son? Who you flopping?
Flops is going to go to the NBA for snubbing a few players. Trae Young for the Atlanta Hawks. He's having a record year this year.
He's having one of his best years.
He's having one of his best years.
Even Charles Barkley spoke out about that.
He's been over 30 like every game with at least about 10 double-digit assists. Right now he's averaging 22 and a half with 11.4 assists.
Damn.
He's doing his thing. Also Sabonis, like we said, he's averaging a double-double. And then LaMelo Ball, too, as well. He's averaging 28.2, 7.3 assists.
It is swerving in the corner, whoa.
Somebody swerved in that corner, whoa. They swerved him. Yeah, that goes to the flops to NBA for snubbing some good talent right there. I get that you want to get the names in there, but there's some players out there balling that you could have got on there.
My flop is to Terry Rozier for possibly being caught up in a gambling scandal. This happened a few years ago, and he was actually cleared by the NBA a few years back for basically shaving points, but the federal investigation is underway, and his name is resurfaced, so he might not be out of the woods yet, so we shall see. Something to keep an eye on, but anytime you're involved in gambling and shaving points, and that's just not a good look. That's why Jonte Porter and Porter family, we talk about them every week. He should have known better than to use yourself as a prop bet and conveniently work your way out of a game. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. But that's my flop this week. Who you propping? What's your prop for the week?
Prop's going to go to the UCLA women's NCAA team.
Okay.
They hold down that number 1 spot. So
yeah.
Go ahead, ladies.
Number 1 for the last few weeks. So
Lady Bruins.
Good for them. Mine is going to go to the Chiefs and the Eagles for reaching Super Bowl 59. Again, we'll talk more about the big game, as they call it, over the next week and in our next podcast, next two podcasts, the Monday night wrap up show, as well as our release that comes out next Sunday on the big game Sunday.
Yep.
And yeah, that's my prop. All right, son, it's that time of the podcast, of the show, for us to tell someone to sit your ass down. Man, sit your ass down. Please. And thank you. Who you telling, son?
My sit your ass down is going to go to Michael Thomas Lewis. He is the reported alleged stalker of Caitlin Clark. Apparently, this has been going over the past few years or so. They finally arrested the man. He's been stalking her just on Twitter, sending egregious messages, just weird stuff. And then it got to a point to where she felt that her safety was in danger. She didn't really know if this dude was going to pop up somewhere. But they finally got him in custody. And he's weird, crazy dude. If you look him up, just a very weird, crazy dude. He was in the courtroom just talking about how he need his meds. Dude's off his rocker. He was saying that, Caitlin Clark is my imaginary friend. So I guess he's trying to play that crazy role. But Michael Thomas Lewis, sit your ass down, because it's sad that this is not the first instance where I know Paige Beckers, she had a stalker too. So it's sad to see, especially from a women's standpoint, that you can't even play basketball and you got these creepy dudes just doing some weird stuff. Yeah. Michael Thomas Lewis, sit your ass down.
Michael Thomas Lewis, sit your ass down.
Yeah, if proven guilty, he can face up to 6 years.
Damn, we get him. If he's done something wrong, you need to pay for that. Get him. My sit your ass down D is going to go to one Cam Newton, former NBA NFL player, for stating that he would rather win an MVP trophy versus a Super Bowl ring.
Delusion.
But if I remember right, Cam was so distraught after his Carolina Panthers lost to the Broncos in that Super Bowl, he stormed out of his press conference because he was so hurt that they lost, which means winning a Super Bowl meant quite a bit to him. So, Cam, sit your ass down, because like I stated before, the only player or person that doesn't want to win a Super Bowl ring is a person that is no longer in position to win a Super Bowl ring. You don't hear Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. They're not talking about MVPs or personal accomplishments. Their ultimate goal is to win titles, Super Bowl rings. Right. They want multiple. You don't think Patrick Mahomes has scaled down his game and his stats because he's so focused on his personal? No, he knows it's a team thing, and we can win by me doing less, at certain times. I'm not worried about that. I want the ultimate prize, the Super Bowl ring. Yep. Cam, deep down, you do too. Yep. But you know you can't do it. It's past you. You want an MVP. Of course you'll say that. But there's not too many people that want that MVP trophy, unless he was talking about the Super Bowl MVP trophy.
Right.
I think I'd want that one. Now that's the one I would take. If I
win the Super Bowl, then I'll take an MVP with it too as well.
Exactly. But just the regular season MVP, come on, Cam. Nothing. Sit your ass down, man. Anybody believe in that? You don't even believe that.
No, it didn't even make sense.
Doesn't make sense at all, son. Man, we covered a lot as usual. We keep it moving. And don't forget, we are powered by Excess. Show them, son.
Please go
product
ahead.
placement.
Please get your Excess.
Hit Sonny Boy up. There's my favorite.
Mango, pineapple, guava. That's one of our favorites. We are powered by Excess. That's what allows us to get through these long nights. If you're working out, your long work day. And also, don't forget your merch.
Man, you're going to let it get warm again. You're missing out on these nice hoodies.
That's that Carolina blue.
That's that Carolina blue. But
come on now.
It doesn't have to be us. Whatever your favorite logo is, your company is, get at us. Let us know what you need. We can get it made for you. We'll get it done. And you'll be happy with the quality. You'll be happy with the service. All right, son. Man, I guess it's time to tell those folks that thank you so much for listening to the Me and D
Pops and Son
podcast.
for that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For
No
that
diddy.
ass. D, till next time.
But until next time,
what?
I'ma holler.
I'ma swear I'm gonna whoa.